It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com, and that is brand new music from the band Skin Suit, also from the album Skin Suit. That one was simply called Baby. And on the line right now is the vocalist of Skin Suit, as well as the guitar player, Mr. Rob McManus and Mr. Tommy Skeoch. Guys, how are you?
Good. How you doing, Chris?
Excellent, man. It is definitely good to hear this project. I definitely have to say I am a big fan of it. I've been telling people to search it out and give it a listen because it's really music that people need right now. It's uplifting, it's fun, it's a little bit dark in the right places. It's just good.
Thank you, Chris. That's how we feel about it too. Like, it's just like there's no one out there really rocking out, like breaking out, kind of edgy sounding guitars and just letting it loose. I don't hear it,
No, it really is crazy that in a time, obviously we're dealing with this pandemic bullshit, and in that time, everybody's releasing all this acoustic horse shit.
Yeah, it's all like from the living room and stuff. As a matter of fact, it's funny you said that because we've been, before all this pandemic, talking about, just doing an acoustic thing for one of our songs just to put on our Facebook page. So it's funny you mentioned that because we just recorded that before you said that.
Oh, nice. Good.
So we're just a part of it. We're fucking it up too, son.
Great. So are you guys going to give us your version of a Sarah McLachlan tune worked out of a Skin Suit tune?
No, it's actually an acoustic version of one of the songs on the record called Fire, Dirt, and Maggots, and it's
okay.
We did a few takes of it today. We're trying to get the best we can. We'll probably do one more after we talk to you.
Very cool, man. Well, guys, let's talk about this thing, man. It is a very impressive 12 songs. It is the last tune in particular is by far my favorite, the big 9-minute monster into the vat. It is.
Man. Thank you, Chris. That's really, man, that's awesome, man. I feel like you really mean that, too. That's pretty cool.
Oh, Tommy, I would tell you absolutely if I hated it.
Yeah. Decent days, that's usually how it is. So that's awesome, dude. We like it, too. We're really enjoying it,
Right. Well, what I think I like best about the record is that it doesn't follow any sort of a map. People are going to get, because of your obvious background, people are going to say, well, this sounds like Tesla back on Bust a Nut, and this might be, people are going to look to compare to Tesla. I hear, obviously your playing sounds like the classic sound, so there's always going to be that. But musically, This is just a different animal. It's more.
It's its own thing. I mean, some of the riffs you might recognize from me playing in Tesla, just the sound and stuff and the vibe. But it's its own thing for sure.
Yeah, if anything, it channels a little more. I would say like an AC/DC vibe, and that might be because of Rob's vocal more than anything. But I'll point to a song like Legacy that, has that very Hell's Bells-ish sort of an open, and then it blooms into its own thing. But there's a lot of different influences and a lot of different sounds. It's a very hard record to classify.
Right. It is. And, and everyone was telling me the whole time we were making it, oh, Rob, he sings like he's got kind of a higher pitched voice and shit. But I just, we were writing these songs and I just loved it. And I've always loved Rob's voice. We've done like bar and grill gigs together, and he sings Led Zeppelin. That's what got me when he first started singing was his Led Zeppelin shit. But not that he sounds like that on this record, but man, I love his voice for these songs. It's just kind of edgy, and it's not really thought out too much. It's rock and roll, man.
Absolutely. Well, talk about how you guys got together and decided to put a project together, because I'm more curious than anything how somebody stumbles into you and you decide, okay, it's time to kind of come out of hiding, so to speak, to do new music.
I'll let Rob tell you about all that.
All right.
Hey, Chris, it's funny because I've been a huge Tesla fan since I heard them in the 80s, so I follow their music forever. And then what happened was I saw a flyer, some memorabilia in a guitar repair shop, and I asked the guy, he's like, yeah, one of the guys lives here. Anyway, long story short, Tommy is teaching guitar, and I
took some guitar lessons from him, and I think he heard me sing like an AC/DC song. He was showing me, and he kind of liked it a little bit. And then I hit him up with a song to play on that I wrote, and we just kind of took it from there. So it's been maybe about 12 years that we've known each other.
Yeah, but then, you know, we started doing like some bar and grill gigs just to have some fun and make some money. And then just not too long ago, about maybe 4 years back, I don't know why, I never thought of it when I was doing my solo records, but he like started the song, some of the music I had written, and it just hit me. Oh, I should be maybe making a record and have Rob sing on it. And then it from there kind of took off, you know, we did this record.
Sure. Now, Tommy, you've obviously done music after Tesla, and it didn't seem like the Tesla people wanted to give it a fair shot, you know, for better or for worse. And obviously it was definitely, it was almost like you purposely were like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not going to do the same kind of music. And you go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I guess what, you talking about like the solo records?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, when I listen to those now, man, it's like the first one I'm kind of okay with, and the second one I was still doing a lot of dope, and I did it out of the house, and then we remixed it in the studio, and it's not really all that great, but as far as the attitude of it, it's like, yeah, it's kind of like what I'm doing with this thing as far as songwriting. I just like that kind of rockin' attitude, a couple of chords that are like some flatted fifth, you know, in the medieval days, they would chop your head off for playing it type thing. So, you know, yeah.
Do you think that if the old fan base were to give this a shot, that this would be the one that kind of brings you not back into Tesla per se, because I know that's not really where you're at, but brings that fan base into what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the thought about it, you know. Definitely, yeah, it's better than anything I was doing solo for sure.
Sure. No,
but I mean, we're not going to probably go out live on this. I have another band that I do, Resist and Bite, and that will kind of take that place of what I do in Tesla as far as working. This, we're going to probably just make records and have fun with it, you know? Sure.
Now, so this is the project, and Resist and Bite is more the band, so to speak?
It's more, exactly. The Resist and Bite will be a band, and we're going to make a record, and we're going to go rule the world type thing is the idea, right? But this thing is just the thing I'm doing with Rob. We'll probably do another record. You know, we've been writing songs for it, and we have fun doing it. It's pretty cool.
Sure.
I just played a new song on him that he likes, so yeah, we keep writing these songs. So we'll probably make some videos, Chris, maybe some merch, stuff like that. Keep a presence out there.
Sure. Now, where do people go if they want to get this record? Because I know how I went. I went begging on Facebook, and you guys were gracious enough to send it. But you know, I mean, for the average person, how do you get it?
Yeah, our website has a store, and it's skinsuitmusic.com. Skinsuitmusic.com, and it's also on all the major platforms now: iTunes, Spotify, all of them.
Okay, very cool. Now, when you guys write these songs or this music, not only these, but obviously the new stuff that you're working on, how does it come together? Do you build from a riff, or do you start with something completed, or just a vocal idea, or a little above all of it? Or
I've been laying down these demos with a drum machine. I'll play like a click track. I'll play a guitar thing over it for a song. I'll have the whole song arranged. I'll play the guitar part. Then I go in and I tap out the drums manually, not like the machine. I just tap them out like I do the bass drum and snare, and then I can do cymbals after that on another track. So it's pretty funky, actually, but it's a lot of fun. And then I hand Rob the finished product of that demo, and then he writes over it, and maybe we do a couple of changes to make it work with the vocal better, or sometimes not. Sometimes we don't do anything, and it's just ready to go. But that's about it, how we've been doing it.
And
there's go ahead.
Go ahead.
There's a few exceptions where I'll have a musical idea, and I'll present it to Tom. If he likes it, he'll help me, flush it out. And
well, that one song like Baby, like you were playing, that was a song that Rob had. He had like some guitar stuff to it, and I wrote a couple of parts to it, and then he kind of just went home and put it all together and made it into that song. It's kind of cool like that, collaboration stuff.
Tom wrote the kind of the bridge for that one, and then arranged it, shined it up,
made it great again.
And then the one you like at the end, Into the Bat Madeira. Madeira was kind of happy accident in that the demo he gave me, something happened where it cut off, and then I added the middle kind of the chord change and then the bass part, and initially he was kind of
the demo's got like 3 different recordings edited together, and then the front part, that metal Odyssey thing, yeah.
Originally he was kind of offended, like, what did you do to my song? But then he liked it, and then he shined it up.
And now it's the epic opus Madeira.
Yeah. Well, you know what though? It really is. It considering that's the way that you put that song together, it doesn't feel choppy at all. It's a very it flows beautifully.
No, we made sure when we recorded it that it just, we recorded it. Actually, we did record it in 2 different sessions. The front part was recorded at another time than the main part of the song.
Oh, Into the Bat?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then we edited it together. But we made sure that it felt like a band just playing it, sure.
Is it, when you do a song like that, a longer piece of music like that, is it difficult to fuse the different ideas so that it doesn't feel like it's, 2 different songs?
Yeah, it is. I mean, the way we had the same drum setup, so that's the same. Yeah, you just do some editing. It's not that big of a deal, really. It just depends on if you, have a bunch of different guitar sounds for each piece or something. Sometimes it can be tricky, but that was pretty easy, actually.
Sure. Now, with Skin Suit, people are going to hear it. A lot of people are going to hear it during this pandemic because everybody's locked down. Is that a good thing for you guys? Because it actually, people are so desperate right now and I want to say that they're listening to it because they're desperate. What I'm trying to say is people are so starved for music right now.
Some entertainment. Yeah, I think it's a great time for this to happen. That's why we were doing that acoustic track today. Just not to get on the bandwagon of everyone doing like live streaming at home. It's not live streaming. We're just recording it to make sure we get a good take anyway. Right. But we're going to put that out there. I think you're right. I think people are kind of into that, and a lot of people are. I know I'm trolling on the internet a lot.
Exactly. I can't tell you how much boxing I've watched on YouTube just because it's on.
I've been on Craigslist, eBay, and Reverb just wanting to buy stuff, but not totally buying. So.
Yeah, I think everybody's doing it, or Amazon. I can't tell you how many times I've looked at microphones and computers and whatnot on Amazon lately, and I get ready to pull the trigger, and I'm like, I don't know that I'm getting another paycheck anytime soon. I better pull
that's the thing, man. It's like, my money stream's drying up because of this thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's really it's a really weird time, and
it is.
I know.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have seen anything like it in our lifetime, in this generation or whatever.
Definitely not. Now, Tommy, one thing about you specifically that I know, as far as being a performer, you are definitely one of those guys that gets right up into the face of the crowd, whether it's daring them to throw ice at you or just, getting up there with a guitar solo or whatever it is. You're always that guy. You always were in Tesla, and I'm assuming you still are. Will this pandemic change the way that you perform or interact with fans or any of that?
Not the pandemic, but I'll tell you what will interfere with that is my fucking age. It's like, my back hurts all the time. It's just like, it's not the same as it used to be. I know once I get out there playing live, it will probably be, it will just kind of go like it used to go. I'll just get nuts. I was kind of an idiot. I would just get crazy and shit. But the guitar, when I play it, it kind of just, I don't know, it takes over, man. So I don't think that will change, but I'll probably in the throes of it, like pull a muscle, something's going to hurt, and I'm going to have to back off a little bit.
Dude,
I'll be 60 in 2 years, if you can believe that shit.
oh, wow. Jeez, I did not realize that you were that much older than me. I'm 51, and I think I'm old.
Yeah, well, man, yeah, give it a few more years, man. You really start feeling it.
Oh, I'm sure. Believe me, I feel it now. Don't think I don't. But you know what? I'll share with you the story that Jack Russell from Great White told me, which is he said that what he told me is, and I'm sure you've seen him. He's not crippled, but he's definitely been beaten down by life and whatever, to where he's a shell of the 25, 26-year-old guy that we remember. And what he told me was that when he hears the crowd and he gets out, and it's that first taste, and I'm sure you can relate to this, that first second gives you enough energy, if it's coming to you, to get you through the show. And you don't realize it. And then when you come off and you sit down on a couch for a minute, all of a sudden, that's when you start realizing, oh, shit, what did I just do?
Yeah, you start feeling it, man, the next day or whatever. Hopefully you can get into a groove where your body becomes acclimated and your respiratory can handle it and everything, because I'm still puffing cigarettes and all that shit, man.
Nice. Well, Tommy, you mentioned it before. Talk a little bit about Resist and Bite, your soon-to-be money project, so to speak. What's the genesis behind that?
We've been writing. I just got back from Kentucky doing that, and it's really great. We've got tons of songs. We're currently right now shopping a deal, and we think it's going to be it's a really diverse, great thing. We got Nathan Newt singing from Lynch Mob, and he's just great, man. And the whole band gets along, and it's going to be awesome, dude. Yeah, we're going to go out and make a record, and before that, we'll be doing some shows as soon as they'll let us do it,
Sure.
As soon as this pandemic thing blows by. We're chomping at the bit, yeah.
Oh, I get it. Now I know you're shopping a deal there. Have you shopped a deal for Skin Suit as well? There's no reason, especially with you being in it and the obvious Tesla relation, there's no reason that this record shouldn't be on like Frontiers or something.
Right. Well, we could go that way, but, we didn't do that at all. It's all homegrown, homemade. This is it, man. We're just doing it on the internet. And it's, we have no overhead, really, besides just making the record, so.
Sure.
Yeah, Chris, actually, we're doing a lot of people on social media and then the website, and just cultivating the Tommy fans that want to hear what, he does.
I mean, the Resist and Bite thing will probably be. I mean, we're going to try and get a major label, but Frontiers is a good analogy, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but I could see that like a Frontiers wouldn't have wanted the solo records, because you either loved them or you hated them. That they were.
Look, the thing about the solo records too is, I'm not a singer. It was just for fun, really, man.
Sure.
I don't take them seriously at all.
Right. No, that makes sense. Now,
although I like some things on them.
Yeah, oh, well, sure. And I'm sure there's probably riffs on those that you wish that you had for these new projects that you're working on now.
Well, I keep writing, man. I think I keep coming up with better stuff as I get older. To tell you the truth, my writing's been crazy.
I totally agree with that. He's been writing like amazing stuff, and then we just kind of got on a vibe, and we're collaborating a lot.
Been writing I just can't stop lately, man. I've been really addicted to it.
Sure. How do you know what goes where? How do you come up with a riff and say, well, that's more suited for Skin Suit than Resist and Bite, or do you just not even think of that? You just bring it and.
Yeah, I think at this point, anything that I'm writing could go to either one of those. But basically, I wrote it before Resist and Bite happened. I gave everything I had to Rob, and then when I started doing Resist and Bite, that all started going to Nathan to write on, and to Resist and Bite. So Rob's got a pretty good backlog of stuff. I haven't given him any fresh stuff in probably the last year, maybe. So he's still working on a lot of the stuff I gave him.
He's still got, there might be 20 songs I can still work on. I've got ideas for.
Definitely a record there if we want to do another record.
The one I gave you today.
Yeah, so we've been working them, yeah.
Very cool. So when...
Yeah, like a formula for that, and it's not even like I think Resist and Bite or Skin Suit. It just Skin Suit's kind of been there, that he's got some material that we can still use for that. And all the new stuff has been kind of going to Resist and Bite.
Okay. When do you envision newer, and it's weird to already be talking about new stuff when Skin Suit is brand new, but when do you anticipate a second record for Skin Suit or the first record for Resist and Bite?
You know what? I don't know. Right now, I don't know. This is the deal. As soon as we can go we can make a record right now, but when we can go tour on it, that's real important. We
Sure.
want to do that in Resist and Bite. So it's all of it depends on this pandemic thing, and that will be, we're trying to get Resist and Bite going off the ground because that's obviously my bread and butter, as you said. So that's going to take precedence over it. But if I have any time after that, depending, we'll hit Skin Suit and do it again. I think, because I had fun doing it, and I enjoy doing it with Rob. It's fun.
Sure.
Before the scamdemic, he was going to go.
Scamdemic.
Oh, sorry about that. Before that, whatever, Tommy was going to go finish the record with those guys and hopefully tour this summer. And
We can't tour this. Everything else stopped, man.
The world's been canceled. But we're doing what we can here,
Hey, you can call it the scamdemic too, because Lord knows, I own a business outside of doing this, and it's been shut down for 8 weeks. And I'm one of these guys that's absolutely going to defy governor's orders to just open up because it's fucking stupid. So please, I'm with you.
It's weird, dude.
I think
it's weird.
My opinion is the virus is real, and if you were in a category, it could have, hurt you real bad and kill you, and apparently it is. But I think they're cooking the books.
I think the way that's possible, but I also think that it should just, we should go on living like we always have. Certain people are going to get affected, and it's unfortunate, but human nature is going to dictate that. I think that's how people are in general. They're not going to stay home. I mean, for a month maybe, but it ain't going to last much longer. They're already just wanting to break out,
Mm-hmm. I've been basing it on the simple analogy of secondhand smoke is pretty much proven to cause cancer as much as regular smoke, and we don't ban cigarettes. We just keep on living. So
right.
Deal with it.
That's where I'm at with it anymore, but I don't know. It's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It sucks. It sucks because of, I don't think that the politicians understand how massively this affects everybody. And, it's one thing to say, okay, big business and all this, but even, what you guys do, it affects engineers being able to get with you to record and make a record or
everything. And there's a lot more people. I always, look at my cup half full because I know there's people that are just fucked out there, man. It's got to be just bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, dude, not to get all into it, but I'll tell you, because it's show fodder anyway. I own it's the 5th largest pinball museum in the country, or arcade in the country. We've got like 400.
What ball?
Pinball.
Oh, pinball.
Yeah, pinball and arcade games, and
sure.
And there's no reason not to have people come and play. I mean, we got 450 games. Right. The building's as big as a Target, and it's like, I'm $35,000 in the hole just sitting around. It's like, where in the world, where am I supposed to get this money? I wasn't independently wealthy either. It's like,
I hear you, buddy. I hear you.
And it seems like some rules apply to the masses, don't apply to other people.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. You know what I mean?
The beautiful people.
Oh. Exactly.
Without getting too much into it, I think you know what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely get it.
As I say, not as I do.
Nice. Let's see. The only true Tesla question I'm going to ask you, Tommy, and I'm going to ask you to answer honestly. Don't give me the "I wish those guys well" answer. Give me the real answer. Not that I think you won't, but obviously, as time has gone by. When you left the band, and everybody remembers that. as time has gone by, the edge that you brought to the band has left. And I'm not saying that they're making bad music. I enjoy their music. I just interviewed Jeff maybe 3 weeks ago, so I'm still a fan. And I'm just putting it all out there honestly. But they've gotten softer and softer and softer with every release. Do you think that people, now that time has gone by, finally understand what it was that you added to Tesla that has disappeared since you left?
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, to me, to me, it's been apparent from the get-go, but even early on my Facebook pages, just everyone, all they ever say is, we still love Tesla, but it's just a different band. There's no balls there now. And just, and these are not my words, man. I wouldn't go and say anything because it's just not appropriate, but,
right.
Yeah, I think it's a different band, and maybe not for the best. I don't know.
Yeah,
that's my opinion. Everyone has an opinion. If they want to listen to some more loungy, kind of more kind of pop, lighter music, they're doing that now. And if people like that, then go for it, man. I like to rock hard.
Yeah, well, you're definitely doing that with this new release, Skin Suit. It is an excellent release, and guys, tell everybody one more time where they need to go to get the to get Skin Suit and start rocking out.
SkinSuitMusic.com is our website and store, and they can get the album there. And we'll have merch and other stuff coming up.
Oh yeah,
there it goes. Well, I'll tell you what, Tommy, you know this as well as anybody. Pick a song from the new release. Tell people a quick story about it so that we can wrap this one up.
Well, I was going to say Madeira, but we talked about that. How about, probably maybe the first song, Knock Down.
Okay.
Just because it's brutal.
It definitely is that. It's a fast rocker, so we'll do that. Let's check it out now. It is Knock Down. It's Skin Suit right here on your Classic Metal Show.